Hello and welcome to Gameday U, Oklahoma's only weekly pregame show on TV. I'm your host for this season, Cam Williams, and I'm joined by my esteemed analysts Michael Thompson, Hallie McPherson, and Andrew West. This past Monday, the Sooners released their first official depth chart ahead of today's contest against Illinois State, and let's just say there were some surprises. Cal transfer running back Jaden Ott was listed as third on the official depth chart with freshman running back Torrey Blaylock in front of him. For the wide receiver room, a familiar face with Deion Burks returning as the starting outside receiver, but sophomore Zion Kearney is right behind him on the depth chart as he's impressed coaches with his yards after catch ability in camp. And lastly, the tight end position, which has been heavily scrutinized, has former linebacker Jaren Kanak listed as the starting tight end for Week 1. And although that tight end spot has some questions, there's been none about the play of true freshman Elijah Thomas in camp. He's been turning some heads with his ability to high point the ball in the red zone for the Sooners.
Well, Cam, how about we talk about the guy that is throwing to Elijah Thomas, quarterback John Mateer. Wide receiver coach Emmett Jones has compared him to Patrick Mahomes, so expect a much improved offense with Mateer.
It really shouldn't be too hard to do that, Michael. But back at SEC Media Days, head coach Brent Venables talked about what freshman has impressed him, and he had a lot to say about cornerback Cortland Gilroy. As a true freshman, Gilroy has had quite the buzz during fall camp and could have an immediate impact this season.
How about some love for the big guys? How about Michael Fasusi, the former five-star O-line recruit, shined all of fall camp, and while Bill Bedenbaugh has hesitated playing true freshmen in the past, this guy is way too good to keep off the field.
Speaking of immediate impacts, this D-line group for the Sooners needs to set the tone early to start 2025. And senior defensive lineman Demonic Williams, who's the leader for that group, expects his guys to come out strong.
We're hungry, like everyone, all the old guys, all the new freshmen, all the new transfers, we're all hungry. Like, we want it bad. And I feel like the transfers and the freshmen, they came in and they took that and they owned it as well. So the fact that they came in hungry, wanted to fight and everything like that, that's just, yeah, I love it.
Well, it's no secret that the Sooners struggled on offense last season. Deion Burks led the team in receiving touchdowns with 3, but all 3 came against Temple. Cam mentioned Elijah Thomas, but he's not the only one who's taken notice.
This program, instill you with different DNA, so he's just so explosive. Learns fast, take good notes, man, and never really makes the same mistake, and we put a lot of pressure on him. To see how he'll respond. He's been responding well also. So I try to break him on the field, try to break him in the classroom. I can't break him at all.
Like Michael said earlier, OU filled in a key role in their offense after picking up the top transfer in the portal from Washington State. Quarterback John Mateer will make his Sooner debut today, and the team captain has nothing but confidence in his team.
I'm pretty confident, and especially because of the people around me. I really trust our offensive coordinator, obviously, and then the O-line, I trust them, and the receivers and the running backs. You can go on. And then even if I'm not perfect, we got this great defense and all these guys and the scheme and everything, and we're all going to play for each other. It's going to be good.
The fate of this team relies on the O-line. Giving up 50 sacks a season ago, that group did about as good protecting the quarterback as coconut oil would protect you from the sun. But team captain and starting center Troy Everett says this group is more than ready.
It's been great. Last year we were a close group. This year we really focused on just getting together, really finding out what works for us. So we got, more film, more time away, just joking around, just relaxing. So it's been great. We got depth everywhere, so it's a very fun group.
Coming up after the break, Gameday U reporter Darby McCormick has more on opening day tailgating. Darby?
Cam, there's a new spot on campus that people are cheering on the Sooners from, where it's at, as well as how fans are reacting to it. I've got both of those answers for you coming up on Gameday U.
Mom was always organized, but she started forgetting to pay her bills on time.
And she'd buy the same gifts over and over. Telling the girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was really hard.
At first we had our cries, but then we were like, okay, let's make a plan.
Early detection gave us time to adapt together.
It's so important for you to think about what you can do and making the most of what you have.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
We said we'd never give in to a meltdown.
Mariella!
Never leave the house looking, well, and never let them out of our sight. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock.
Welcome back to Game Day U. Now let's head outside the building, but stay on campus, as Game Day U reporter Darby McCormick has more from the North Oval. Darby, how's it looking?
It's looking good, Cam. For the first time ever, the historic North Oval, is open for tailgating. And that's public tailgating too, so anybody and everybody can join. And both fans and media feel that this has been a long time coming.
From a student hub throughout the week to becoming Sooner Fan Central. For the first time in school history, the North Oval will be open for tailgating.
It could be a really cool event with everybody over here and then not too far from the stadium.
A fan experience fit for the hopes of a promising football season ahead.
With the atmosphere, the expectation for the season, the magnitude of the season for Brent Venables and company, it's going to be fun. And I think if the schedule that is in front of Oklahoma and obviously Michigan in week 2, it's one of the better home schedules I can remember in doing this over the last decade now.
Eddie Radosevich, correspondent for media outlet Sooner Scoop, will be a part of the tailgate experience with hopes of increasing more fan numbers each home game.
As long as we're getting over here, getting the word out, people will listen, people come by and see us, see what a fun time it's going to be, and it can only expand here over the next couple of years. So really looking forward to being out here and kind of, I guess, appreciative that they thought of us when they were putting this thing together.
The goal for the North Oval? To look like the Grove at some point in time. But Radosevich knows that time is definitely what it's going to take for the transformation.
Long ways to go. Gonna have to take baby steps, but I do think that if they have a centralized location where people can go tailgate, know that's going to be there weekly, it will only kind of grow with the word as it spreads.
And the energy this morning, it could use some work. Hopefully that ramps up for the 5 p.m. kick later today. But for now, I'm going to send it back to y'all in the studio. Maybe I just need to join the party. Maybe I am the party for today. We'll see.
Thanks, Darby. When former 5-star defensive tackle David Stone first arrived in Norman, there were some growing pains. Since then, Stone has completely flipped the script. Game Day U reporter Oliver Schaefer has more in this week's Sooner Spotlight.
I feel like that film part is necessary. You have to be able to study the game and fall in love with it. You know, you can play so much faster when you're able to dissect formations and, the tendencies of the O-line and pick up on those things and help you rush the quarterback faster or, be the puller that's going across formation to get a TFL, things like that, help you play faster, be more productive. And that's why I really fell in love watching film.
He's up there every day with the coaches. I'm talking about every day. He probably leaves when they leave, honestly. And the fact that he does that, I feel like he knows the defense. He's one of the best that knows the defense, indeed, because he's in there every single day.
I'll be honest, David Stone, he goes in there, he goes 100 miles an hour, keeps the effort up. He'll be one of the best D tackles in the country. And just the way he is, because his motor is high and he is freaking strong. So, yeah, I hate those guys sometimes.
As the Sooners prepare for their sophomore season in the SEC, come see what Stone and the Sooners have against the Redbirds tonight at 5 p.m. right behind me. Reporting for Game Day U, I'm Oliver Schaefer.
Thanks, Oliver. When we come back, we'll hear from one of college football's rising stars in the media world. Stick around for more Game Day U.
Welcome back, Oklahoma fans. Got ants in their pants this team hit to see. Oh, wow. They're excited to see this team hit the field. I spoke with On3's Josh Pate at SEC Media Days about what he expects to see from the Sooners as they look to bounce back from a disappointing season. Let's start with Oklahoma. Brent Venables, some say he's on the hot seat this year. What is the bar Oklahoma needs to be at so there's no changes in the athletic department?
Well, I mean, so we're talking about three things. You can either, compete for a title, have an average year, or have a terrible year, and then we're talking about the negative stuff. They could have an average year, like they could go 8-4 this year, and you're not talking about hot seat next year, but you also didn't accomplish your goals.
Do you think Oklahoma's been quick with adapting to the times that's needed in today's college football world?
Yeah, I think they're trying to. I mean, at the same time, you got to understand every one of us is going through this for the first time. That includes Oklahoma. So you're trying to proactively make the right hire. Okay, so you bring Jim in at GM. We'll see what they do at athletic director. But even hiring Brent Venables now, like out of all the programs in America, they were the one who gave him the shot.
You know the defense is probably going to do their job. What do you need to see from John Mateer for Oklahoma to maybe even make the playoffs?
Just good decision making. If he makes good decisions, their wide receiver room will be good enough. I think their offensive line will be improved, along with that tailback you just mentioned. They will be consistent and balanced enough offensively. The production level will be high enough. Defense will give them enough help in a supporting role that if he makes good decisions, that'll be good enough for them to compete in and have a chance to win every game they play this year.
And while winning is the best way to cool down the hot seat, USA Today reports Brent Venables also agreed to take a $1 million pay cut to aid revenue sharing.
Great insight from one of college football's best media personalities. Now let's take a look at the matchup this week for the Sooners against Illinois State. In their only ranked FBS matchup versus 25th ranked Iowa last year, the Redbirds lost 40-0 and only amassed 189 total yards. I've got the Sooners winning big to open up the season.
The Illinois State Redbirds, high hopes for them in the FCS world, being ranked 6th in 2 preseason polls, but this is the big leagues and the Redbirds can't hold the Sooners' jock strap. I'm taking OU to easily cover the spread.
Well, they'll certainly be holding something, Andrew, but I don't believe that it's going to be the football. The Redbirds finished in the bottom half of the FCS in turnovers lost, and OU's defense was their brightest spot last season. Give me a 6-touchdown Sooner win with 1 score coming from the defense.
The Redbirds went 10-4 overall last season, and OU did finish 6-7 overall, but the FCS cannot compare to the SEC. I see the Redbirds getting dominated. I have the Sooners by 50 for week 1.
Now looking ahead to some SEC matchups this weekend where Tennessee plays host to Syracuse. This will be the first game of the Joey Aguilar era in Knoxville, and I expect them to have a good showing versus a Syracuse defense who was ranked 78th a year ago.
78th? That's kind of sad, Cam. How about a playoff rematch with Texas heading into Ohio State in the shoe? All eyes are on Columbus, and I'm taking the world's most famous nephew in Arch Manning to lead the Horns over the Buckeyes.
Well, Andrew, OU fans definitely have their opinions on former Sooner Jackson Arnold. He had a rough preseason, but the new Auburn quarterback looked promising for the Tigers with 2 rushing touchdowns in the 38-24 win over Baylor last night.
In the Southeast, LSU's Brian Kelly and Garrett Nussmeier head into Clemson's home territory for a Week 1 Top 10 matchup. This will be the ultimate battle of who is the real Death Valley.
Looking forward to that LSU versus Clemson game at Memorial Stadium for sure. When Game Day U returns, we're back talking about the Sooners and hot takes for the Crimson and Cream.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/act now.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
All right, look at you taking the stairs. Who are you?
We're your lungs. We are proud of you for quitting smoking, but you still may be at risk for lung cancer.
A routine cancer scan can detect it early when it's more curable. Good to know. Well, I gotta go somewhere.
So do we.
So do we.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back to Game Day U. Now, it's time for some Sooner hot takes to start off this 2025 season. To start it off, I'm predicting that both Deion Burks and Isaiah Sategna will both eclipse 1,000 receiving yards for the season. In the SEC, you need big play receivers that have an edge to them. And this wide receiver room desperately needs that after tight end Bauer Sharp led the team in yards last year with 324. It might sound crazy, but these two guys have produced with mediocre QB play. Imagine what the two could do with a full season of John Mateer throwing them the football.
Well, my hot take is that we will be seeing the Sooners in the college football playoff for the first time since 2019. Pretty much everything that could go wrong did go wrong for the Sooners last season, and their record really showed that. But with Mateer and Arbuckle coming in and an already proven SEC-ready defense, I believe that the Sooners can really shock some people. The key is Michigan. I think if they can get past that game, I think a 5-0 start and a top 10 showdown with Texas could spark a playoff run for the Sooners.
This could be too hot of a hot take this early in the season, but I think OU football is in due time for another Heisman finalist. I predict that John Mateer will bring back Oklahoma football where it belongs and be a Heisman finalist at the end of the season in New York City, especially if the river turns red in October against Arch Manning. I have high expectations for this QB and offensive coordinator duo this season.
Yeah, and some Sooner fans got their wish. Bauer Sharp is gone. Bad news, the tight end depth chart now consists of a former linebacker in Jaron Kanek, Pittsburgh State transfer Will Huggins, and Kennesaw State transfer Carson Kent. Those three combined for 4 receiving touchdowns in 2024, but I'm a highly unrealistic person, and this group with Ben Arbuckle calling the shots and John Mateer's mobility in the pocket, windows will open, and that room will shock the world and combine for over 8 touchdowns this season.
Andrew, I'm gonna hold you to that prediction. Coming up after the break, we'll have some new faces on the set, ready to make some bold predictions for this weekend's games.
Food isn't just fuel to live, it's fuel to grow. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. When people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger, and together we can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Visit feedingamerica.org/actnow.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping. Got a few minutes? You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater. Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Mom was always organized, but she started forgetting to pay her bills on time.
And she'd buy the same gifts over and over. Telling the girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was really hard.
At first we had our cries, but then we were like, okay, let's make a plan.
Early detection gave us time to adapt together. It's so important for you to think about what you can do and making the most of what you have.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Welcome back to Game Day U, where we've got some new faces here in studio, ready to give some bold predictions for this week's first full Saturday of college football. With me are Kevin Daniel, Peyton Davis, and Chris Holman. Up first, one of the most anticipated opening day matchups in recent memory. Number 1 Texas at number 3 Ohio State. Kevin, who comes out on top?
Well, y'all, teams are ranked number 1 for a reason. That is talent, and Texas is swimming in it. They were top 5 in recruiting 3 of the last 4 cycles, according to On3. Throw in that Austin runs on Arch time, the Longhorns will be all right, all right, all right.
Ohio State is the reigning national champion. I could end it there. Manning might be the college football golden boy, but OSU linebacker Sonny Styles will no doubt threaten that glow today. Kevin, the eyes of Texas might be on Manning, but my eyes are on Ohio State.
Peyton, Texas fans need to focus on those Ohio State receivers. The last time these teams played, Carnell Tate averaged 12.4 yards per reception. Pair that with All-American standout Jeremiah Smith, and the Buckeyes are going to lead Bevo right to the butcher.
Up next, Garrett Nussmeier and LSU's high-powered offense travels to Clemson in a gritty matchup at Memorial Stadium. But which Tiger comes out on top?
That one's simple. LSU has not been good in week 1. They're 0-5. in opening games. 3 of those losses coming under head coach Brian Kelly. Listen, they're not winning against this Clemson defense.
LSU might not be too hot in week 1, but Clemson has lost all 3 games they played last season to SEC opponents. QB Garrett Nussmeier and his offensive line will claw their way through that Clemson defense, so give me LSU.
Not only that, Peyton, but these 2 teams have faced off 4 times, and LSU has won 3 of them. These Tigers are going to be locked in a battle to see who gets to call themselves the real Death Valley, and I think that LSU takes it in a close one.
The national champ runner-up Notre Dame Fighting Irish head east as a hurricane in Miami awaits. Who gets the win?
This rivalry has been called Catholics versus convicts, but my question is, can Catholics even lose on Sundays? Breakout receiver Jaden Greathouse and Virginia transfer Malachi Fields will leave Touchdown Jesus smiling upon the Irish.
Carson Beck left Georgia for more than just a suntan and an ocean view. He'll be suited up for Shannon Dawson's offense, which led the nation in overall yards and yards per play last season. I see a hurricane coming straight for the Irish.
Back to your point on the offense, Kevin. Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love rushed for just over 1,100 yards and 17 touchdowns during his sophomore campaign, and I think he'll pick up right where he left off against the Canes.
OU's first game of the year versus the Redbirds of Illinois State, and they open up as a 36-point favorite at home. Who comes out with the win?
With all due respect to the number 6 team in FCS, Illinois State doesn't stand a chance against Brent Venables' defense. R. Mason Thomas, Dominic Williams, Grayson Halton and co. will control the line of scrimmage. Sooners will trample the Redbirds.
Kevin, it is a miracle that we finally agree. Venables is known for his defense, but bringing in Arbuckle and John Mateer, this year's Sooner offense should live up to the hype as well. I'm ready to see some Mateer magic on Owen Field today.
We can finally all agree on something. The Sooners picked up Cal transfer running back Jaden Ott this offseason. Pair that with the likes of Javante Barnes and Xavier Robinson, and it's going to be a recipe for disaster for the Redbirds defense.
Sounds like a lot of good games to look out for this weekend. But look, do you guys have some Sooner MVPs?
Yeah, I said it once, I'll say it again. R. Mason Thomas, he's going to be a force on this defensive line.
I've got John Mateer as my MVP today. Like I said earlier, I think he's going to bring some fire to OU's offense.
I got to say Javante Barnes. We saw what he did the last time he played an FCS opponent, and I think he's going to recreate some Sooner magic today.
Me personally, I've got Grayson Halton. Thanks for watching Game Day U, where it just means more. For Kevin Daniel, Peyton Davis, and Chris Holman, I'm Cam Williams. We'll be back next week when OU hosts Michigan here in Norman. Have an amazing first game day.